Markets thought AI applications were exploding, but GitHub Copilot just revealed the truth. Microsoft is losing $80 a month on its heaviest users. Now they've scrapped fixed subscriptions entirely and switched to usage-based pricing. This has major implications for your AI computing stocks. This is geopolitics and economy. This video represents only personal views and does not constitute any investment advice. Markets are risky. Invest with caution. First, the Middle East. Israel captured Beaufort Castle in Lebanon and struck Beirut, killing the U.S.-Iran 60-day ceasefire deal outright. Iran's response is clear: a full blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world's crude passes through there. Oil prices surged over 4% in a single day, with Brent crude breaking $95 a barrel. OPEC has been warned. If the strait is blocked, supply chains will be disrupted at least through year-end. For China, the direct impact is surging imported inflation, skyrocketing fuel costs for airlines, and a stronger dollar weighing on the yuan. In short, a geopolitical stagflationary headwind is forming. Now, U.S.-China relations. After the Beijing summit, there was no comprehensive tariff truce. Instead, they set up something pragmatic, a trade committee. They're discussing tariff relief on roughly $30 billion of non-sensitive goods, plus China expanding purchases of American agricultural products and aircraft. This isn't a grand reconciliation, but it's a partial thaw. For export-oriented light manufacturing and cross-border e-commerce, it's a clear signal. Pressure is easing. But don't get your hopes up. This is just paving the way for the Washington summit in September. The semiconductor and AI landscape is a tale of two extremes. South Korea's May exports hit a record high of $87.75 billion. Semiconductors accounted for over 40% for the first time, soaring 169%. SoftBank's market cap surpassed Toyota's, making it Japan's largest company. All this is solid proof that computing hardware is still expanding wildly. But on the other side, GitHub Copilot was forced to abandon fixed subscriptions for usage-based pricing, exposing a brutal truth about AI applications. Inference costs are too high. Microsoft loses $80 per heavy user. This means AI apps are moving from burning cash for users to a cost-cutting phase. The hype around computing rental plays may be peaking. China is fighting an asymmetric war with resources. After rare earths, gallium, and germanium, it's now imposing strict export controls on antimony and tungsten. China controls about 60% of global supply. This move sent international antimony prices soaring to a record $22,000 per ton. What are antimony and tungsten used for? Armor-piercing shells, infrared missiles, night vision gear. Western defense supply chains are now in a crunch. These metals are being priced with a geopolitical security premium, no longer just simple industrial supply and demand. Meanwhile, the EU is also making moves. Starting July 1st, it's imposing a 50% tariff on steel shipments exceeding quotas and introducing melt-and-pour origin tracing, effectively closing the back door for Chinese steelmakers to launder exports through Southeast Asia. Latin America is also shifting. In the first round of Colombia's presidential election, far-right candidate Espriella unexpectedly took a big lead. Behind it is voter fatigue with leftist policies and a desire for security and economic recovery. He promises to scrap left-wing economic policies, crack down hard on gangs, and fully open oil and gas to foreign investment. This is an early sign of the leftist tide receding in Latin America. There's also a short-term variable worth watching. Typhoon Rose is approaching Kyushu, Japan, a semiconductor hub. Storm-related shutdowns and port closures could create shortages in auto electronics and consumer electronics components. Domestic suppliers with substitute capabilities, like MLCC and auto electronic component makers, could get rush orders. To sum up this episode's 3 long-term signals. First, the subsidy bubble in AI business models is bursting. High inference costs will force an industry shakeout, creating strategic opportunities for edge small models and low-power chips. Second, commodities are now fully weaponized. Whether it's China's tungsten and antimony export controls or Iran's Strait of Hormuz threat, geopolitical premiums are here to stay. Third, geopolitics is entering a state of tail-end chaos. Israel defied U.S. orders by attacking Lebanon. Superpowers are losing control over their proxies. future macro black swan events will only become more frequent. Personally, the core strategy now is to defend against inflation and geopolitical risks, not to chase momentum.